Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Welcome, everyone. This is Steve Meisinger, your host for today's ISE webinar. Really happy that we have John Jagerson with us today. John Jagerson will be talking about timing your FX options entry and exit points using Fibonacci analysis. So no matter which way you think the U.S. dollar is going, you're going to want to learn more about the different trends that the markets show us. And I'm sure many of you are technical analysts, so you're going to learn how John looks at Fibonacci analysis to identify profit targets, initial stops or hedges for the FX options. John is a renowned author. He's a Forex trader, as well as a founder and contributor to learningmarkets.com. And he's going to discuss how to identify and set profit targets using Fibonacci analysis. Again, please bookmark John's site. That is learningmarkets.com. It's a great site. I've been there many times. He just does a wonderful job in providing free education. So please check that out. I just want to go through a quick point about today's presentation. Just want to remind everyone that taxes, margin, and commission are not included in any transactions as far as the examples that we will go through today. And I would urge all of you to get a copy of the characteristics and risks of standardized options. You can go to optionseducation.org and get that. Just a little bit about ISEFX options. Well, they're accessible through your options broker. They're exchange listed. They are cash settled. So that means that you don't have any physical settlement. They are European style, and they can be traded as spreads. So those are some very important points. You can trade them per U.S. dollar or in U.S., which means the U.S. can be the base currency, or the U.S. dollar can be the quote currency. You just need to type in those symbols. So AUX would be the U.S. dollar, Australian dollar. Conversely, the Australian dollar against the U.S. dollar would be AUM. And you can see all the symbols there. You can get all those symbols at www.fxoptions.com. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce John Jagerson.
Thanks, Steve. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. So if you have any problems, or Steve, if you could give me a heads up if my audio is not very clear, I would appreciate it. What I like to do, I'm not a big PowerPoint guy. So if a lot of you were anticipating a long, boring PowerPoint presentation, I hope to disappoint you. I like to do this on the charts, so I'm going to go ahead and share my charts. Steve, can you pass me the ball?
Oh, sorry about that, John. Sorry, yep.
Hey, no problem, no problem.
Yep, you're good to go, John.
All right, great. Okay, so I'm going to share my charting application, and as I do that, I want to do a quick background on why I think this is why FX options I think are such an interesting topic, as well as give you a little bit of additional information about who I am and what I'm trying to accomplish. So let me bring my windows back up here. And okay, so one of the questions that I get quite a bit that I wanted to kind of address up front before we jump in is I do tend to look at Fibonacci's quite a bit. Technical analysts I find they tend to be kind of divided, and between those who aren't big users of like technical indicators, things like MACD or something like that, versus those who use price patterns, candlestick patterns, or even Fibonacci analysis. And I tend to kind of fit somewhere probably in the middle there, and I think any of those perspectives are perfectly valid. But one of the advantages of using a technical methodology like Fibonacci analysis is that it doesn't have the kind of lag that you have in a traditional technical indicator. Technical indicators, they look at past data, and they tend to, at some level, average price and time in some fashion and then display information to you. And inherently, when you're calculating using a lot of past data, you're going to lag a little bit, some of the fast moves in the market. So I find that Fibonacci analysis fits into that category of technical analysis, like price pattern analysis, like candlestick analysis, where you don't have that lag. So that's one of its greatest strengths. And what I hope to be able to do is to provide a couple of ideas today around using Fibonacci analysis in the Forex options market. And I tend to kind of focus on technicals, and I think that's very common actually with Forex traders, just because I think by far technical analysis dominates as the way to analyze the market in the Forex. Amongst Forex traders. It's just kind of one of those cultural things in that particular market. And however, it's certainly not it's not the only analytical methodology. And what I hope to be able to do is maybe show you one more tool that you could even add to your fundamental analysis or to some other analysis that you're using. And because it doesn't have the kind of lag that comes along with other technical indicators, it shouldn't impair your ability to make decisions, even if you're layering it onto something else that you're already doing. So I started out in the Forex, actually, in the import-export business. And way back, oftentimes when you would bring product into the U.S., contracts may be out a few months for delivery. And if your contract is denominated in, say, yen, for example, then you have an exposed liability. A 5% move on the yen that could be your margin. So got involved in the Forex way back trying to offset those kinds of risks specifically. And I think that that's largely where you see a lot of institutional traders still working in the Forex is trying to offset some of the risk that they're exposed to. And then some, like myself, began to gravitate and move towards being into financial management, working for brokerages and education companies and such. And I kept trading the Forex, but now more as a speculator, so taking advantage of what's available on profit opportunities that are available.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.